I have called you 5 times. 5 times I have gently knocked on the door of your heart with an important message about the miracle waiting for you. And today, at this exact moment, I need you to stop whatever you are doing and listen carefully, because there is something you truly need to understand. Your miracle is coming, but something is standing in the way, and you need to know what it is right now. It is not by accident that you are reading these words. I have brought you here because I love you deeply, and I cannot let you lose what I prepared for you long before the world began. Over the past weeks I have seen every tear you have cried. I have watched you wake up each morning with a heavy heart. I have heard you quietly repeat my promises as you tried to keep your hope alive. I know every prayer you have spoken and every cry that has come from the deepest place within you. I want you to understand one important truth. Your miracle is already prepared and waiting, but there is an unseen barrier delaying the time it appears in your life. That is why I called you once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, and 5 times, because I need to show you what is blocking the way and how to remove it. If my voice is touching your heart right now, if you feel peace growing inside you, it is a sign in the spiritual world that you are answering my call. Nothing in my plans happens by accident. Every word you are hearing today is part of my purpose to lead you toward the complete life I promised you. Listen carefully to this. You are not far from your answer. You have not been forgotten, and you are not outside my perfect timing. But there is something I need you to notice, something that has been stopping my blessings from flowing into your life. Today I will show it to you because I love your soul too much to let the enemy take away what already belongs to you and already has your name on it. This is a very important moment. What you are about to hear can change the direction of your life if you choose to believe and completely open your heart to my guidance. I want you to understand that when I call you, it is not only to comfort you, but also to help you change direction and bring your heart into agreement with the eternal purpose I have written for your life. I have called you 5 times because every call gave you another chance to recognize something you needed to surrender, something you needed to leave behind so your blessing would not be affected before it reached you. Many times you ask me, Lord, why has there been so much silence? But do you not know that my silence was protecting you from words you were not yet ready to receive? But today is different. Today your ears are fully open because your spirit has grown stronger through pain and waiting. I have been preparing you quietly, shaping your character when no one was watching, building your faith through the fire of uncertainty. Every tear you cried was gathered by me like a seed of future glory, and now those seeds are beginning to grow. But listen to me carefully, because there are forces trying to take away what you have planted. Thoughts filled with doubt, hurts that were never healed, and words spoken over you that you allowed to settle deep inside your soul. All these things have become an invisible wall standing between your prayers and my answer. That wall must come down today. You cannot keep moving forward while holding bitterness in your heart. You cannot ask for abundance while your words keep saying that nothing will ever change. You cannot speak about faith while deep inside you believe it is already too late. The divided heart is what has slowed the arrival of your miracle. It is not because I have stopped working, but because true faith cannot live together with unbelief. That is why I called you 5 times, because I needed you to recognize the battle taking place inside you. Today I want you to close your eyes for a moment and take a slow, deep breath. There is no need to hurry. This moment is holy. I am here, and my presence is surrounding you right now. Feel the burden becoming lighter. Feel the atmosphere changing around you. I am breaking the chains that have kept you tied to fear. As you listen to these words, I begin releasing what has been held back. Heaven is moving in your favor, but I need you to trust me completely, not only halfway. Brothers and sisters, YouTube has demonetized this channel, Every video is now made at our own cost with zero ad revenue. Every script, edit, and upload is done by a real team serving this ministry with their time and skills, not for a paycheck, but out of love for God and for you. Without your support, continuing this work becomes incredibly difficult. If this ministry has brought value to your life, now is your chance to invest back and help keep the Word of God reaching the world. If these messages have ever moved you or strengthened your faith, please support us on Ko-Fi. Even a small gift goes a long way. A link is pinned in the comments. If you are watching on TV, open your phone camera and scan the QR code on screen. It takes you straight to our support page. Pray over it, and if God leads you, give. Thank you. Because when you believe with your whole heart, walls come down, delays come to an end, and miracles arrive with great power. There is still so much I need to show you about your miracle and the way to receive it. But first, I need you to understand something very important. My beloved son, my beloved daughter, know that at this very moment, while your heart is beating and your eyes are reading these words, I am closer to you than you have ever realized. I am not far away in a place you cannot reach. I am here beside you, breathing life into your situation and preparing everything for the miracle that is ready to appear. I need you to understand why I have called you with such urgency, why I have reached out to you 5 times until I had your full attention. The first time I called you, it was a quiet whisper to your spirit while you were asleep. I placed a dream in your heart, a holy stirring that caused you to wake with my name on your lips. The second time was through a song you heard, a melody that touched the deepest part of your soul and reminded you of my promises. The third time was through the words of someone who did not even know they were being used as my messenger. That person spoke exactly what you needed to hear in that moment. The fourth time came during a deep silence when you felt my presence so strongly that no words were needed, yet you knew I was there. And the fifth time is happening now through this message, which has not come to you by accident. If something inside you is moving as you read these words, if you recognize my voice speaking to your heart, then do me one favor and press the like button right now, because I need to know that you are responding to my call. I need to see that sign showing your heart is open and ready for what I am about to reveal. That simple step of faith opens spiritual doors that have remained closed. It is more than pressing a button. It is a declaration that you believe me and that you trust me. Let me remind you of something written in my word, something I want you to keep deep in your heart. Therefore I tell you, whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it, and it will be yours. These words from Mark chapter 11 verse 24 are not just advice. They are a promise that cannot be broken. But notice the order carefully. First you pray, then you believe you have already received it, and then it comes to you. The problem is that many people pray, then begin to doubt, and then wait to see before they believe. But I am calling you to do the opposite. I'm asking you to believe you have already received it before you see it with your eyes. Your miracle has been delayed because there is a gap between your prayers and your belief. You pray for healing, but your mind still sees yourself as sick. You pray for provision, but your heart still feels empty and poor. You pray for restoration, yet in your spirit you still carry the identity of someone who is broken. I need you to understand that you cannot receive in the natural what you have not first accepted in the spiritual. Every one of my calls carried a special purpose to bring your spirit into agreement with the reality of your miracle. The first call was to wake up the hope that had fallen asleep inside you. The second call was to stir the fire of your faith that had almost gone out. The third call was to shake the thoughts that kept limiting your ability to believe. The fourth call was to clear your spiritual hearing from the voices of fear and doubt. This fifth call is the final one, the one that brings clear instructions and the power to carry them out. I need you to be completely honest with me right now. You have been praying for something very specific for many months, maybe even for years. You have cried out for healing that still has not come, for financial restoration that still seems delayed, or for a family relationship that feels impossible to restore. I know every request because I was the one who placed those desires in your heart. But let me gently ask you something. Have you been praying with true faith, or have you only been holding on through desperate hope? There is a great difference between the two. Desperate hope says, I hope God will do it. True faith says, God has already done it. Desperate hope keeps pleading, please, if it is your will. True faith says, thank you because it is your will, and it is already finished. Do you understand the difference? I am not speaking about pride or acting as if you know everything. I am talking about complete confidence that comes from truly knowing who I am, knowing that I always keep my promises. I want to teach you to live with that confidence, because that is where miracles stop being delayed and begin to appear. When I speak about faith, I do not mean a passing feeling or words repeated again and again. Real faith is the position of your heart. It is a deep confidence that stays strong even when everything around you seems to say the opposite. It is looking at the storm and still saying, my God is faithful. It is seeing lack and saying, the Lord provides for me. It is feeling pain in your body and still declaring, by His wounds I am healed. That is the kind of faith that moves mountains. It is the faith that releases what cannot be seen. It is faith that depends not on feelings but on what you know to be true. Many people pray with their mouths, but only a few pray with real confidence. They ask, but they do not expect. They speak, but they do not truly believe. Then prayer becomes only empty words without power or direction. I did not call you to repeat my promises like they were magic formulas. I called you to live each promise as truth, because every promise I have given is like a seed, and if you keep it planted in the rich soil of faith, it will surely grow and produce fruit. But when you doubt, it is like pulling that seed out before it has the chance to grow. That is why I have kept calling you again and again, because I cannot allow your miracle to remain unfinished because of a lack of faith. Do you know how many times you came close to receiving your answer but missed it by only moments? Just as heaven was ready to open, doubt entered like a shadow and slowed everything down. This happens when you look at the passing time and say, it has taken too long. It happens when you see others receiving blessings and think, maybe it will never happen for me. Those thoughts are tiny cracks where faith slowly escapes. Even if you do not notice it, every one of those thoughts delays what has already been declared for you. But today I want you to know this. I am restoring your faith. I am breathing on the small flame of your trust until it burns brightly once again. I do not want you to live with weak faith that disappears when hard times come. I want you to have strong and mature faith that stands firm while others give up. That kind of faith is not built during easy seasons. It grows through long nights when everything seems lost. That is why I allowed certain times of silence and certain delays. It was never to punish you but to make your roots stronger. The waiting was never rejection. It was preparation. I wanted to teach you to believe even when you felt nothing, to keep walking even when you saw no results, and to trust me even when my ways did not make sense. The miracle I have prepared for you is not weak or temporary. It is a complete and lasting work, made to remain strong through time. But for that to happen, your faith must become mature, your heart must stay clean, and your mind must stay in agreement with me. I want you to understand that everything you have gone through until now has been part of preparing you. Every tear, every prayer, and every silent season had a reason. You have never been alone, not even for one moment. I have walked beside you, even on the days when you believed I had forgotten you. Every time you stopped to cry and said, I cannot do this anymore, I was there quietly giving you strength. Now that you have reached this place, I want you to make one decision. Believe like never before. This message is not just another message. It is the fifth call, the final one, filled with power and truth. If you choose to believe, you will witness what others only hope for. If you choose to trust me completely, your miracle will not only come, but it will remain. From this moment, begin speaking the opposite of what your eyes see. If you feel lack, speak abundance. If you see sickness, speak healing. If doors seem closed, declare that they are opening. Do not keep your attention on what is visible, because faith works in what cannot yet be seen. What you speak with your mouth opens doors in the spiritual world, and as you continue to declare those words, heaven begins to move on your behalf. Do not be afraid if you do not see immediate results. Every word of faith you speak is like a key opening something in heaven. Do not give up now. What you have been waiting for over such a long time is very close to appearing. This is your season, and I do not want you to lose it by turning your eyes to the past. Keep looking at me, and you will watch the broken pieces of your life come together with perfect purpose. There are truths I need you to understand very clearly. My promises never fail, and my words never lose their power. My rivers of blessing never stop flowing. They never pause, never weaken, and never run dry. But you have built barriers through unbelief, through bitterness you never released, and through a divided heart. You say you trust me, yet you keep several backup plans in case I do not come through. You say I am your provider, but you live filled with worry about money. You say I am your healer, yet inside your mind you have accepted living with that sickness forever. I am not speaking these things to judge you. I am setting you free. I am not pointing you out to embarrass you. I am reaching for you to rescue you from the endless cycle of spiritual disappointment that has held you captive. You cannot keep repeating the same actions while expecting different results. You cannot continue thinking the same way while expecting a life-changing miracle. Something must change completely, and that change begins with you. Every time I called you, I was giving you another opportunity to change. The first call invited you to wake up from spiritual sleep and stop waiting for everything to happen without your response. The second challenged the beliefs that kept holding you back, the voices saying, I can't, I don't deserve it, or it isn't meant for me. The third urged you to make hard choices that fear and comfort kept delaying. The fourth prepared your heart for this loving meeting with the truth. Now this fifth call comes with the power to bring lasting change that will release your miracle. Let me explain more clearly what it means to be spiritually aligned. It is not about repeating empty prayers or following religious routines. It means bringing your thoughts, your heart, and your actions into agreement with my will. It means living in a way that matches what you say you believe. When you say you trust me but still refuse to let go of control, you weaken the power of faith. When you say you are waiting on me but spend your days filled with worry and complaints, you pull away the strength that should move your miracle forward. Being spiritually aligned means giving everything to me, letting go of the need to understand every step, and trusting that I already hold every detail in my hands. I am not asking you to stop having feelings. I am asking you to trust me even while you feel afraid. I am not asking you to ignore your pain. I am asking you to place it in my hands so I can change it. I do not want empty religion. I want a real relationship with you. I do not want memorized words. I want a heart that hears my voice and follows me. Sometimes your greatest act of faith will not be speaking, but staying quiet and allowing me to work. Other times it will mean moving forward when everything inside you wants to stop. At times faith is shown through words, and at other times through obedience. Every step of obedience creates room for your miracle to appear. That is why I called you, because I have seen how the enemy has tried to distract you with tiredness, fear, and the feeling that nothing will ever change. But today I am breaking those chains. This is the moment when you must choose whether to keep trying to control everything with your own understanding or fully surrender to my direction. The miracle I have prepared is not small. It cannot fit inside your human plans. It is not something you can force, control, or make happen faster. It can only flow when your spirit is in harmony with mine. If only you could see what I have prepared for you. If only you could see how every piece is being put into place, you would not hesitate any longer. But I have hidden certain things, not to disappoint you, but to make you stronger. I want you to walk by faith instead of by sight, because that is the heart of true spiritual strength. And when you do, when you stop building barriers with fearful thoughts and allow my river to flow freely, you will feel life returning to you. Your prayers will become powerful, your thoughts will grow clear, and heaven will answer without delay. It is not that my blessings are missing, but that they have been waiting for you to open your heart so they could flow freely. Being spiritually aligned does not mean life becomes easy. It means everything begins to have meaning. Even when the world seems full of confusion, deep inside you will know that nothing is outside my control. When your soul comes into agreement with my spirit, what once looked like loss becomes a new direction. What looked like a closed door becomes protection. What felt like delay becomes preparation. I have been working in your life far more than you realize, even during the days when you believed nothing was happening. Every quiet season carried a lesson. Every waiting period hid a perfect plan. I want you to begin seeing yourself the way I see you, not as someone chasing a miracle, but as someone whose purpose has already been established. What I have promised you cannot be changed. It does not depend on your emotions, your failures, or what other people think. My word has already gone out, and when I speak, all creation moves to fulfill what I have declared. But there is one thing you must understand. Fulfillment requires your cooperation. I prepare the way, but you choose whether to walk on it. I open the doors, but you decide whether to step through them. The enemy has tried to make you believe that your only job is to sit and wait for something to happen. But that is not the truth. Faith is not standing still. Faith is taking action. Faith is not watching the clock. Faith is looking toward heaven. Every step of obedience you take, even the smallest one, moves spiritual things you cannot see. Your obedience brings your miracle closer, not because your actions have power by themselves, but because your obedience allows me to work freely in your life. Many people pray for guidance, but when I answer, they hesitate or turn away because my direction is different from what they expected. That is where spiritual alignment is lost. Being spiritually aligned means saying, Lord, even when I do not understand, I trust you. Even when it hurts, I will obey. Even when I cannot see, I will keep moving forward. That is the faith that overcomes the world. That is the faith that shakes the kingdom of darkness and opens closed heavens. I have seen every struggle inside you, every sleepless night, and every moment when you wanted to quit. But I also saw every time you prayed again, even with a tired heart. I saw you rise once more. I saw you choose to believe even when you felt nothing. My son, my daughter, that carries great value in heaven. Your quiet endurance is proof that my spirit is living within you. Now I want you to understand something important. There is no miracle without change. You cannot receive something new while holding on to old ways. You cannot live a supernatural life while your thinking remains limited to what is natural. That is why I called you 5 times, because each call was meant to renew another part of you. I am not speaking to frighten you. I am speaking to set you free. I am teaching you to live from a higher place where your circumstances no longer control your faith, but your faith begins to influence your circumstances. When I say I want to align your spirit, I also want to align your words. What you speak shapes the atmosphere around you. Your words can build or tear down. I can open doors or shut them. I have noticed that sometimes you speak about faith, but during everyday conversations you plant seeds of doubt. You say, God is able to do it, but then you add, it probably will not happen for me. Those mixed words become small spiritual openings that weaken the flow of your miracle. That is why today I ask you to speak with purpose. Do not repeat only what your eyes can see. Speak what you believe. Instead of talking about the problem, speak about the promise. Instead of focusing on what is missing, give thanks for what is already on its way. Every time you thank me before you see the answer, you are helping bring your miracle into reality. Thankfulness before the answer is a spiritual key that opens greater provision and favor. If you truly knew how close your miracle is, you would stop worrying so much and begin worshiping instead. What you see as a delay is really my perfect timing. I am never late. I always arrive at the right moment. If it has not happened yet, it is because I am preparing everything so that what you receive will last. I do not want to give you something that disappears quickly. I want to give you something that changes your life forever. As you read these words, my spirit is working inside you, breaking the barriers that fear has built, tearing down the walls of unbelief, and clearing the way so my blessings can flow without anything blocking them. Notice how something within you begins to change, how the fire you believed had gone out starts burning again. This is the beginning of bringing your heart back into alignment with me. You not fight against this process. Open your heart, let go of control, and allow my power to do the rest. But I also need to warn you about something important. The enemy will not quietly watch you receive everything I have prepared for you. The moment you fully choose to believe, to receive without doubting, and to walk in the fullness of my promise, his attacks will become stronger. He will fill your mind with greater doubts. He will use people close to you to plant unbelief. He may even allow your situation to seem worse for a while. Why? Because he is desperate. He knows that once you step into this deeper level of faith, once you begin living with complete trust, you will become impossible to stop. Understand that when you receive your miracle and tell others about my power, your story will touch hundreds, thousands, and perhaps even millions of lives. He knows your testimony will destroy his work in many places. That is why he fights so hard during this important season. But there is one thing he can never change. I have already won the battle. He can make noise, create confusion, and try to frighten you. But he cannot stop what I have already declared. He cannot cancel what I have signed. He cannot take away what I have sealed with my blood. Your miracle is not guaranteed because of your strength, but because of my victory on the cross. At the cross, everything was completed. Every debt was paid. Every promise was secured. Every tear you cried was counted. Every wound was redeemed. Every loss was turned into a greater purpose. That is why I tell you today, do not be afraid when everything around you seems to shake, when opposition grows stronger, or when the noise becomes louder. Those things are not signs that you are losing. They are signs that something is about to happen. Darkness becomes loud only when heaven is getting ready to move. Listen carefully because this is very important. Your part in receiving this miracle is not to wear yourself out, try harder, or make more religious sacrifices. Your part is to rest in the work I have already finished, to trust in my faithfulness that has never failed, and to stand firmly on my unchanging word. Stop struggling against the current and allow the river of my grace to carry you exactly where you need to go. When you truly understand this deep inside your spirit, everything begins to change. You no longer pray from fear but from confidence. You no longer beg because you feel empty. but give thanks because you know abundance is coming. You no longer ask like someone with no hope, but receive like a beloved son or daughter, the rightful heir of every promise I have made. This change in your spiritual attitude is what opens the last doors between you and your miracle. I answer the faith that rests in who I am, not the anxious heart that questions my goodness. I answer the confidence that says, it is already done, even before it can be seen. I do not respond to fear that says, it will never happen, based only on what your eyes can see. I want you to begin living with peaceful faith, with confidence that remains steady, with trust that does not depend on visible proof. That is the mature faith that opens heaven. When you choose to rest in my word, your spirit enters a place of peace that welcomes the supernatural. There my power moves without resistance. My angels work on your behalf, and what had been delayed begins to move forward. Not because you are doing more, but because you are finally allowing me to do everything. The enemy knows he cannot stop me, so he will try to stop you. He will try through tiredness, distractions, guilt, fear, and thoughts that whisper, maybe I am not good enough. Maybe I do not deserve this, but I want you to hear this with all your heart. This is no longer about what you deserve. It is about grace. Grace is not something you earn. It is something you receive. If you could earn it, then it would no longer be grace. So when your strength feels weak, do not try to fight harder. Simply come closer to me. Find safety in my presence. Rest under my care. That is where miracles become a natural part of life and where the flow of my spirit becomes your daily experience. Do not focus only on doing. Focus on becoming. Be united with me, be willing to obey, and stay ready to receive. There are still important truths I need to show you about keeping your miracle after it comes and allowing it to grow. I do not only want you to receive it, I want you to keep it, enjoy it, and become someone through whom others learn to live in the same power. Nothing frightens the enemy more than a son or daughter who not only receives a blessing but becomes a source of blessing for others. Prepare yourself, because what comes after your miracle will be even greater than the miracle itself. What I am about to tell you now is very important. Many people receive a blessing, but only a few know how to keep it. Not because I take it away, but because they never learn how to guard their faith after receiving it. The enemy may not stop you from receiving, but he will try to steal what you failed to protect. That is why you must remain at the same level of faith that brought you to your miracle. What faith receives can only be kept through continuing in faith. After my power works in your life, after you see the answer with your own eyes, the enemy will try to plant thoughts like, what if it was only a coincidence? What if the problem comes back? What if it does not last? But you must lift up the shield of faith and answer, it was not luck. It was the hand of God. It was not an accident. It was the fulfillment of His promise. It will not disappear. It will continue to grow. The words you speak after your miracle are just as important as the prayers you prayed before it, because your words help establish either lasting victory or unnecessary loss. I want you to understand that the miracle is not the finish line. It is the beginning of a new season of spiritual responsibility. When I bless you, it is never only for your own benefit. It is so you can become a living testimony and a visible example of my power. Every time I work in your life, I am showing the world that I still do what seems impossible. So after you receive your blessing, do not drift away from me. Do not forget me. Do not return to old habits. Stay close to me, because a blessing without closeness to me slowly fades, but a blessing joined with deep fellowship continues growing and becoming greater. I called you not only to wake you up, but to teach you how to stay faithful, to remain strong after the storm has passed, and to keep your fire burning even during peaceful times.